We live in a time where level design in video games has advanced to a certain point. There's usually not bad level design. I mean, it exists, don't get me wrong, but no matter how good the average level is, there's always going to be an elite, amazing set of brilliant geniuses that design crazy levels that blow our minds. And then some blow our minds because they're frickin' insane. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 recent levels in video games that are absolutely insane. At number 10, it's the Kong Chase from Kong Survivor Instinct. This game is billed as a Metroidvania, but it's a lot more of a linear level-based platformer. The levels themselves are somewhat open, clearly split into levels. Honestly, something closer to the original Prince of Persia than a Metroidvania, but still. Kong is right there in the name, so you probably want Kong action, and to this game's credit, they do deliver a crazy sequence where Kong goes buck wild on the building you're currently occupying.
No freaking way!
It's a real spectacle for being in a 2D action game where you're mostly quietly exploring and the worst threats are primarily just humans with baseball bats. You'd think this would be another shovelware pile of garbage, like Kong Skull Island or something, but someone put actual effort into this game. It's still got a little bit of that licensed game weirdness, but it's a way better game than you'd probably give it credit for. And this segment where Kong just really wants to squish you like a bug shows the best that this game has to offer. Good stuff.
That was close.
At number 9 is The Painter, Look Outside. This grotesquely goofy horror RPG knows exactly what the people want, and that's loads of freaky-ass monsters. Created mostly by just one guy, the game's art style really is something else, riding the line. Before almost kid-friendly, up into the vomit-inducing. Some of this stuff is so psychedelic, and I mean, it's just looking at it feels like you're getting a contact high. It's impressive work. So the premise of the game is that some kind of reality-altering event is happening outside, and if you look at it, well, bad things happen. People looked, and weird stuff is going down everywhere. There's multiple sections that you could probably apply to a list like this. Every single apartment you go into has some new hellish nightmare, but one really stands out on the first floor. This is where you meet Fred the Painter, a guy who has a little problem. He painted portraits of himself that went and painted more portraits of themselves, and there's 9 other Freds running around. There's a Fred hiding in the fridge who offers you a reward for taking out all the others. There's a Fred hiding in the closet who's devolved into a blue blob of something. A fractal Fred, Nightmare. Actually, one of the more friendly Freds, though, offers to heal you free of charge. A Fred who bites, who's just a swirling mass of teeth that constantly attacks you when you try to talk to him. And then there's Godhead Fred, a Fred who thinks he's some kind of divine being, and, well, he looks like the final boss of a deranged JRPG. This whole area is completely crazy, and the kicker is that the first Fred you meet that looks like the real thing is, of course, actually another fake. The real one's locked up in a closet with a black void where his face should be. It just exemplifies what this game is about. Encountering horrible freaks and not really knowing what you're supposed to do. Some are friendly, some aren't. You gotta navigate the madness and figure out how to survive, which can be tough when there's a Fred who disguises himself as a hat and attacks you from your inventory. At number 8 is Separation Anxiety from Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The final mission in Black Ops 6 is a doozy. The underground base flashback mission is weird enough, but this one's truly baffling. It barely feels like something out of a Call of Duty game. It's so weird. I'm not even going to attempt to describe what the story is supposed to be here. I barely understand it. I played the damn game. General gist, though, is it's another one of those painted journey into the mind missions that this sub-series absolutely loves. But there's more gameplay than usual, which automatically makes it a lot stranger for one of these campaigns. There's a scavenger hunt, though, okay? You're looking for broken shards of glass. There's a segment that's kind of a mini roguelike thing where you try to run to the end of the course as quickly as possible, but there's not enough time, so you have to find pickups that make it so your next attempt goes faster. There's a part where you have to fight a zombie horde of your player character while getting pickups.
Shit, your heart rate's through the roof.
Yeah, it's weird. All while the game bombards you with the nearly incoherent exposition that doesn't even apply, presumably, until Black Ops 7, whatever that's going to be. Oh yeah, and while all this is going on, there's a huge battle raging outside, and the game is constantly cutting back between everything for maximum disorientation. It's insane, but damn if it's not entertaining. At number 7 is The Mouth of Hell in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The last thing I expected to find in this game was a survival horror mission, and I mean, what? But here it is, and it is surprisingly intense. A big part of what makes this mission so effective is that you're just not expecting it. I mean, sure, you get a mission to investigate an old mine that's supposed to be the mouth of hell. Okay, simple enough. Just climb down in the mine and grab whatever the villagers have been throwing down there. But hey, a lot more insane. There's a gibbering madman in knight's armor. He steals all your stuff. Then he starts stalking around the caves looking for you after he notices you're gone. The mission's tense as hell.
Still alive? How is it still alive?
You got literally nothing other than the few things you can find in the mine while this guy is stalking around in full blood-soaked armor. The lack of saving makes this part especially frightening because death in this game actually means something. If you get caught, you're potentially going back to the start. So what if you get stuck down here? What if you're not good enough to sneak by him? Thankfully, it's not as difficult as it might first appear. There's plenty of hiding places to at least get around the freak, and all you have to do is survive and get back to the entrance. One of the more impressive aspects of Kingdom Come 2 is the variety of missions you undertake. A lot of interesting stuff that you can get up to in this game, but sneaking through a cave, trying to dodge a crazed Latin-spewing knight, not something I expected.
Terribilis Deus, the Sanctuario.
At number 6 is the Cortex Center in Nine Souls. This game might be more of a Metroidvania. This part's definitely a level, though. It's entirely linear, and once you go through it, it's done. There's no exploration aspect. Nine Souls, if you thought it was dark, you really haven't seen anything yet. The entire Cortex Center is bleak even for this game. Normally, it's just a single room with nothing to interact in. But you get far enough in the game, suddenly the room changes, looking like some kind of grand entrance. Inside is this eternal hot spring that's meant to be some kind of heaven, I guess. It's basically the Matrix for people sleeping on the colony ship where this game takes place. They're in stasis while the ship looks for a new home and a cure for the disease killing the entire population. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal. A simulation where you can do whatever you want. But this whole thing did not go so well. The creator of the simulation lied about how effective it was, and instead of creating heaven, they kind of created a hell where everybody connected to the system is trapped in suffering. The virtual world looks nice at first, but slowly the facade begins to crumble. The seemingly happy inhabitants start having vacant, stuttering eyes. The holes start appearing in the world. The whole thing really starts to fall apart when you face off against the boss, Madame Ethereal, where in the background you see people trapped in cocoons like butterflies, and you see the back of a head opening up, revealing the boss's final form to be a butterfly. It's just creepy stuff. Got disturbing visuals all the way down this place. For such a kid-friendly looking game, Nine Souls is pretty messed up. At number 5, The Hunt of the Ebony Odegaron from Monster Hunter Wilds. One of the later missions in Monster Hunter Wilds sounds like it's going to be another perfunctory hunt. It's literally what these games are. They never really break formula. And if you get a mission to hunt a monster, then by God, you're going to hunt that monster. That's how it's gone the whole game. It worked the same in World, in Rise, pretty much every Monster Hunter game. But this quest, oh, it throws a curveball at you. After the hunt seems to be done with, they really lay it on thick. They even show the end of the mission results screen and everything. And then something new attacks.
Let's not waste time.
This bizarre octopus-like creature called the Zhuwu. Surprising enough to get jumped by a new monster after finishing a hunt, but I mean, look at this thing. It's gnarly as hell. Looks like something out of Dark Souls, not a Monster Hunter creature. I mean, where is the face? What's with the teeth on top of the head? This is a nasty freak, and it knows it.
Leave this to me. Wheels inbound.
At number 4 is Timebreaker in Alan Wake 2 Night Springs. it's got to be particularly weird to stand out in Alan Wake 2. The whole game is super bizarre, but the third mini campaign in the Night Springs DLC takes that trademark weirdness of Remedy's games and goes completely off the deep end. The deep end. It's both dark and it's deep and it's the end, okay? It goes off of it too. The strangest, most meta elements of Alan Wake 2 revolve around Warland Dorr, the talk show host, and Sheriff Tim Breaker, characters who are part of the narrative, but also not really. I'm not completely sure what they're actually doing or what their goals are. Probably will be answered in another game, but I don't know. And what makes them so meta is they're characters from another Remedy game, Quantum Break, but also Quantum Break isn't owned by Remedy. It's not officially part of the Remedyverse, so their names are a little different, and they're never really clear on if they're completely the same guys. In this DLC mission, they really lean into the Quantum Break references, though, which is weird for everything that I just said. They don't own it. They can't directly reference it. They can't use the same names. I mean, it's all really clear if you've ever played Quantum Break, but meta is an understatement. Sam Lake, you know, the Remedy guy, the face of Max Payne, also the face of Alex Casey in this game, the Max Payne equivalent. He plays himself in the DLC, the real person Sam Lake, who is directing the movie starring the actor who plays Tim Breaker, Sean Ashmore, who you might know as Iceman from the X-Men films, not Tim Breaker, the actor who plays him.
You wanted to talk? It's awesome to be doing this with you again, Sam.
Sean, it's so good to have you back.
And it actually only gets weirder from there. Jesse from Control shows up, but if you played Quantum Break, you would know that Jesse from Control also acted as a character in Quantum Break, and she shows up as that character, and then the game shifts into a side-scrolling beat-em-up. It's really, really off the rails. I don't know how it relates to Remedy's Connected Universe yet, but wow, I am confused and intrigued, to be fair. At number 3 is the Raging Sea from Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Most of the locations in this game are kinds of places you'd expect to find in a Metroidvania. Standard halls, forest outskirts, marble-covered upper palaces, underground caverns. Play enough of these games and it's hard to get too excited about entering a new location because you feel like you've seen it before. But to this game's credit, the Raging Sea feels new. The pirate ship is, for whatever reason, a not uncommon feature in these types of games, but rarely do you see them like this. It's in the middle of a frozen storm, mid-destruction. Nothing particularly crazy happens in the level, it's just that the area itself is so visually nuts, and also totally unexpected. It's easily the most memorable location in this game, or in most Metroidvanias for that matter. It's such a fresh place to explore, and it's just brilliantly designed. The art team just went into overdrive. The backgrounds are lush with detail. There's so much going on in every single room. So much insanity going. And they pull it off, too. That's kind of the really, really impressive aspect of it. It's completely nuts. Most games just give up and start repeating corridors by the end, but Lost Crown saves one of the craziest locations in one of these games, period, and springs it on you right at the point where you think there's not much left to find. And number 2 is the Mirror World in Slitterhead. I don't want to gas up this game too much because, yeah, when it's described, it sounds crazy as fun, but unfortunately, the majority of the game is kind of repetitive and a little frustrating, maybe even boring. It's a game for the advanced weird-ass game enjoyer. I'm not going to say I don't like it, because I do like it, but I like it in the way that weird people like IPAs. I don't know really why they like it, but there's got to be some reason. To me, they taste like dog shit, but to them, they obviously don't. Anyway, it actually takes a while for this game to really start going off the deep end. Sure, it's weird that there's a time loop, but things get really odd when you leave the time loop and suddenly enter the Mirror World, which is an alternate dimension where you can see certain events play out from different perspectives. What's the difference between the time loop and the mirror reality? I don't really know. but it leads to one of the most bizarre levels in the game where everything just pops off right at the start. Okay, just to get here, there's already been a whole lot of nonsense. For some reason, Alex has become evil and killed the main heroine, which triggers the mirror reality where now you're playing as her instead of him, and at this point, the plot about alien body snatchers just completely out the window. It's now about rival body hopping ghost power people, and it leads to this pretty kick-ass cutscene where a blue ghost guy possessing people left and right fights you. The whole mission is total chaos. It's a crazy twist in a game full of bizarre twists. It's stuff like this that makes the frustrating slog of actually playing the game feel like almost worth it. I have a really frustrating relationship with this game because it's both worth it and it's not worth it. Is this what it's like to like IPAs? It has to be. And finally, at number 1 is The Carnival, Bears in Space. This indie FPS is two things. It's Doom Eternal inspired, with its hyper-aggressive combat against unrelenting swarms of enemies, and it's unrelentingly nonsensical. Every other minute, some insane thing happens. It's relentless, and this game is not short, so it's a lot of bullshit for one game. It's hard to even pick out a single level that's the most insane, because they're all pretty bonkers. But if one level really stands out, it's gotta be The Carnival. Even for this game, this level is all over the place. 1 minute, you're wandering around a semi-open world, hiding bombs and pies. Yes.
Ruh-roh.
The next, you're controlling a jet ski with a cardboard depiction of your main character hanging off the back. Next, you're in the middle of a rail shooter that's referencing Time Crisis. And then you're in a boxing match where you're hunting robot ghosts in a castle using a rust gun, which is a squirt gun. But it just keeps going. This one level alone makes for about an hour of gameplay, maybe a little more, but they just don't stop throwing some new bit of nonsense at you. And let me remind you, this is a Doom Eternal inspired shooter. Most of the game is nothing like this area, and it's not even something that appears early. It's like 2/3 through the game, long after you've already killed whatever passes for a main bad guy in this story. I'd say Bears in Space is borderline incoherent, but no, it's nonsense. It's surprisingly entertaining nonsense, but yeah, there's no structure. There's no reason you're doing any of this, no discipline whatsoever from the developers. They're just having fun, and you know what? I am also having fun. Good job, guys. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter and book me on Cameo at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.